Hey guys, what's cracking? Godsman here. Welcome back to Custom Card Review 2025 Part 2. Joined with me again, we've got Noir over here. How was it be doing?
Yo, what's up? Doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's back at it again because it's only been about a couple days since the last review, and we started off pretty strong. A lot of really good effects. Had a few favorites here, like the March of the Emperor Impact card and John Vanguard. So it's always really quite fun. But we also had our highs and our lows, so we should probably be expecting that for a lot of custom card review. It's probably one of my favorite things about doing this series. So I'm curious to see what we've got today for highs and lows. Now, before we get into it, I want to shoot a quick reminder here. Right now, as of the time of recording, this is Thursday, and Sunday is the last day to be posting up for any of these effects. So definitely try to get whatever cards, if you want to share, get those in by the end of the week so that we can review them, because after that I'm going to be taking this post, making it private for a little bit, and trying to catch up on everything that everyone's been sending. We've got a whole wave of different cards that have been coming in, just flooding through every day, and it's really nice to see so much like traffic coming through. Very popular series. But having said that, we are running out of time now by this point, so definitely get those in while you guys have a chance. This should be uploading by the end of the day today, so definitely not gonna be like a belated heads up. Like, can you imagine recording this and like 3 days later when it uploads anyway, and people are like, well, I can't do anything with this information now. Yeah, so don't worry about that. This will be up pretty soon after recording. Anyway, with all that said, y'all know the rules about custom card review and all that jazz, so I don't really need to get into it. And if you haven't watched the first episode of 2025, I definitely suggest doing it. It's about a couple hours, so very chonky video, but pretty fun along the way. And well, that said, let's go ahead and begin. So Crazy Flame is back at us again. As you see, I've already opened up the links for both of these because our next two are going to be Google Drives. Now, I haven't actually read what any of these do, but I just expanded them up there just to make sure that we could even access the links, because again, this is actually a problem with some of these that we've had in the past. It's nice to see Crazy back at it. He was the one who made the impacts, by the way. He was so he's got another few cards here. So let's go ahead and start with a Google Drive. Spectral Duke stuff, it looks like. Okay. We've got 7 Spectral Duke
right now.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Nabs would have my head where I was like, oh look, it's your avatar, how nice. Yep. Man, that guy is such a son of a bitch about that, dude. For those of you in the audience who don't know, obviously, like, I have a couple different avatars throughout the history of Vanguard, but the one that is most popular, at least to me, has always been Raging Form Dragon, right? It's like PFP and everything. But he always makes a joke that Spectral Duke is my avatar because my biggest competitive success has been with Spectral Duke Dragon, and I've had more people come to me for advice on Spectral Duke Dragon than Revengers, ironically. So he's always persisted that joke. You know, the a-hole that he is. Anyway, I love that son of a bitch. So let's go ahead and check out the cards here. Oh, we'll go ahead and begin with the ride line, then see some of the other supporting cards here. I believe I actually fought against this deck before on stream at one point, so this is not entirely going to be new for me, I believe, unless he's completely altered the effects from how I remember them, albeit it was many months ago that I fought these cards on stream, so I'm not even sure how much I do remember. Anyway, so we got Black Dragon Wolf Vortimer sporting the nice V-Series art. Rotopon, when set, can draw a card. Good stuff. Like, normally the limit is about 12, considering this is just a little piddly starter. I'm fine with this one being a 13th card. So let's go to Shadow Darkness Vortimer, where the ride line really begins. So auto, when this unit is Rotopon by Black Dragon Knight Vortimer, search your deck for a Spectral Halberd, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Furthermore, when it's retired by Rear Circle by your card's ability, put it into the soul, choosing your unit, 5,000 power in a turn. Oh, interesting. So it's got like a... This seems pretty apropos, right? Because you've got, and by the way, it's a gold paladin, so, you know, no shadow paladin stuff going on here. So this actually could outsource to some of the gold paladin generics like Dindrain. It's probably worth noting here. This is very reminiscent of the other sort of like Asia circuit ride line skills, because all their grade ones add the in archetype order card, right? Like for Aquaforce, it was the set order card. You had War King of Beasts for Ezel, Vermilion Thunderbolt, or Vermilion had Eternal Thunderbolt or whatever, so on and so forth, right? They all have something like that. So it appears to be Spectral Halberd here. Second skill is just straight from V-Series, exactly what the V-Series one did. You retire it, it moves into soul to give a unit 5,000 power. You're probably giving it to Spectral Duke Dragon because that's typically a restander. Not really much to say about this. I bet Spectral Halberd's going to be where the hotness goes. So let's go ahead and detour from the ride line really big to understand Spectral Halberd. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. I guess there's no alternative, so you might as well do an anime screenshot. It's I could tell from the little clipping on the right side there that this is Spectral Duke Dragon wailing on Bowman's, which is nice. The poor guy, dude. Aichi got pushed almost to the limit right away. That was scary. Play this with Counterblast 1 or Soul Blast 2, and when your Vanguard is Spectral in its card name. Okay. Soul Blast 2 should not be an issue if you're playing Vortimer grade 1s as rear guards, which you should be. Choose one of your rear guards. It gets, when this card is retired by your card's ability, draw a card. Then, if it was retired by your Vanguard's ability and your Persona Road, or you have Limit Break, aka 4 more cards at damage zone, choose one of your Vanguards, get drive +1 until the end of this turn instead. Oh, so instead of a draw, you can give him a drive if you hit the Limit Break. This is even more V-Series goodness. What do you think about this card?
I actually really like it. It kind of slight tangent is that a lot of what I liked about Dragild, especially the new support, and why I prefer Magnus over Ignis as a boss is because the Persona ride is a lot better than the triple drive in my experience, because while the numbers are still the same, being able to have a chance to draw into that extra combo piece that could really help you pop off as opposed to Ignis, which is just trying to check for triggers, can matter a lot in the long run. So the fact that this actually has some versatility to that makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that it's giving the drive on a win retire. Now, this is going to really depend on Spectral Duke Dragon's timing when we get to it, because if Spectral Duke Dragon's at the end of the battle, this is totally apropos, right? But I could see if it's an on attack retire, then that means that drive counts twice, and ooh, that would be a little nasty. Yeah, I bet I'm interested to see the other resources, because this is the first thing that uses resources, because obviously we're just doing the ride line right now. So I'm curious to see on resource wise which one's going to be more important for you, using it as Counter Blast or Soul Blast, because if you're trying to spam Din Drains, Din Drain is basically a Soul Blast 2 to counter charge 1. So with Din Drain, it's sort of like even if you CB, you just Soul Blast 2 instead. So it really just comes back to Soul at the end of the day for this clan. It feels like even in V series it was like that. So how about that? Yeah, I know, it's very fitting in a way. Now we've got Black Dragonite Vortimer, which, oh man, as an aside, this has always been my favorite grade 2 art in all of Vanguard. I think this art is so cool. I love it. It's everything. The red moon in the background, his weapon is just god tier. I want to fight this guy in Dark Souls. Auto, when this is rolled upon by Spectral, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 1 card, call it to rear circle, or add it to your hand if it's a Spectral Halberd. All right, now this is like a nerfed version of the V series ride line, which called 2 off top of 5, but makes sense because this is a guaranteed ride, whereas in V series you don't always have that ride. Continuous on the rear circle. During your turn, if you've got a grade 3 Abyss Dragon with 1 clan, this gets 5,000 power, and when it's retired from rear circle by an ability put into soul energy. Wow, so really, this is really, bro's like, hey, PBO, use this card. It's very interesting PBO love.
I'm kind of happy about it, because at least it actually takes advantage of the nation system a lot better. Where it's like, hey, you know how they have different clans? Yeah, well, guess what? We have a nation system, so you can just mix them as you want.
Oh yeah, totally. This just makes Soul Blast so easy, because not only is this putting itself into Soul and grade 1, another thing that puts itself into Soul, which is common for these decks, is Battle Sister Coco. Coco puts a card from hand to Soul to tutor off top 2. So Soul is all over the effing place, and this thing is giving energy charge too. Now, it's been a while since I fought this deck, so it doesn't immediately spring into my mind the purpose of that energy charge, but even without that, it still gives generic energy charge to the clan, which could be pretty powerful depending on what you're doing with that. I could see with this deck in particular, there's a really nice generic energy blaster, which is based off of retires. PBO just get an effing amazing upgrade, right? They're all Keter at the end of the day, so you can run some of the Gold Paladin stuff and just use them with the Shadow Paladin stuff, to my understanding. So
You're gonna love having Biscotti in this deck too.
Oh yeah, Biscotti can go so effing hard here. All right, now let's talk about the big kahuna. We've got Spectral Duke. Whoa, he's not as high quality. Okay, so let me scroll up a little bit here. So interestingly enough, using the old art instead of the V series art. I'm not sure why the change there, but we'll take it good.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's one of those few examples where it's probably cooler overall. Don't get me wrong, you definitely get a crisper art with the V-Series one, but this is such a domineering and imposing, kind of position. Yeah, right? He's looking at it he is your executioner. Whereas, in V-Series, he's like, oh, this is just a direct candid shot of some dragon. Yep. Continuous on the Vanguard Circle. If you've got both of the Vortimers in your soul, this gets 2,000 power even during your opponent's turn, so it's got the MLB 15k cross-ride numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, so not that great, but this does mean that boosted by an 8k base, you got a magic number there, which is relevant for this card. Although, this requires you to have both the Vortimers there at all times, so it's also...
It's kind of rough.
Yeah, now this is a little better than MLB at least, because you get them both in ride line. You can't have both Blaster Dark and Blaster Blade in ride line, so you had to get a little lake work there. This doesn't require that lake work, but yeah, the Soul Blast becomes a little rough, so you better see those extra copies, or this is going to get a little rough for you. So after the Vanguard Circle once per turn, costs Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You choose a card to call to the rear circle, and this unit, that unit get 5,000 and shuffle here. Ooh, yeah, the double 5k off of that is actually like a very unsung hero benefit, because guess who's probably double dipping that 5k power? This guy. Holy crap. That's even better than the Minerva Soul Blast. That one just like tutor top and you may put it into Soul or keep it on top. That's pretty good.
Fine, considering it's only for an extra 5k power, whereas like every other deck nowadays will probably just give it like 10 or 15 for some reason. For no reason
but the thing is that it's a cumulative 15, right? Because only is that thing like attacking with an extra 5k, this guy's going twice with that extra 5k.
Oh yeah.
So it's a cumulative 15 and a +1 for that Soul Blast. So I don't know.
Yeah, but he didn't go overboard with it, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's not as overboard, but I do want to point that out in case power lines do get a little ridiculous here. Now, auto the Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a greater unit. Thank God, because it's definitely going to be the restand skill. Yeah. And it's also end of the battle, so that's important. That means that you don't get to double dip on the drive check. Very good, crazy. Energy Blast 3 and retire 3 rear guards with different card names, including a unit whose only clan is Gold Paladin. Stand this unit gets drive marked. I love that skill. Now, personally, I think it should have counterblasted instead of Energy Blast, because Great Tube Water makes it too easy to do that, or at the very least make it a higher Energy Blast than the typical Energy Blast 3. But having said that, though, retiring 3 rear guards, I don't know about the different card names, but retiring one, which is a Gold Paladin as a mandatory part, beautiful execution. It's just like how Minerva was back in set 8. Holy, that's great. What do you think about this card overall, now that we kind of get to see the basic puzzle here?
I really like the fact that like that cross ride more basically has to incentivize you to run more soul charging like abilities or something within the deck to make the Soul Blast cost for the order actually matter, because now it's like that cross ride can actually mean a lot. I mean, it doesn't mean much against Orphis, but you know, it means a lot for other decks at least who actually do care about hitting those magic numbers. The Soul Blast 1 for the top 3, like that feels perfectly balanced. Feels like a rarity in this format right now.
Yeah, it's a little high on the power relative to like the so like it's low reach for higher power, but it is still pretty balanced relatively speaking.
Oh yeah, and then for the auto skill, it's just I don't know how I could have done it better. Like you said, I think I probably would have rather it be Counterblast 1 or even Counterblast 2 if you thought it was too strong. But
yeah, I don't know about CB2. That's a little high, but yeah, I would have done the CB1.
Well, like, considering it's three rear guards with different names, and one of them having to be Gold Paladin, that's already a bit of an ask already. So
yeah, right. That's the thing, though, right? I think if you're having to pick and choose your costs, I would have rather CB1 retire any 3 rear guards, because punishing a deck that's all about mustering your units for not having like specifically different named units, I'm like, WTF? I'm supposed to be Gold Paladin, not effing Chris Raid. What are we doing here?
Fair. I mean, I do kind of like it though. It forces you to have some variety in your play patterns at least. So you're not just calling the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, unironically.
Yugioh Mashad.
Yeah, unironically, like if I was like balance this a little bit, like I like CB, but then like take out the different names, so the auto skill more or less like comes out to be the same. Still think it's really brilliant for the Gold Paladin, but the Soul Blast one, I think the power is actually acceptable if you reduce the range slightly just to make it more of a you have to. So one thing I might have done here, now this one's definitely a little like kind of wicked, but this is just to be kind of like being a punk ass and trying to like add in more of that old school flavor, but have it actually called top. So it's like Minerva where he looks at top. So basically, if you call a trigger, it's still retire fodder, and it's still going to be at bare minimum a 10k booster, right? That's still decent. So but you just call top. You don't get to complain about what you get there. You don't get to complain,
Yeah.
but you do get to Soul Blast. And at bare minimum, if you don't call top, this thing is still getting 5k, which means that you still Soul Blasted for 5k, which is effectively 10k because it goes twice.
True.
That's nice.
If I remember correctly, Ren actually called his heal trigger off the Spirit Call effect.
I think he did it twice, as a matter of fact. I think he called it. Yeah, if I recall correctly, he called it Elixir Sommelier, and then later on, I think he had to call it Elixir Sommelier and Gigantech Destroyer or something like that. I think he called it.
Okay.
But I could be wrong about the second one. I know he did it once though with Gigantech, which was.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty apropos, right? I love that ride line, but God, that ride line was so misinformed, because it required you to have cards to retire. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Anyway, let's go ahead. A pretty solid ride line. I would love to play these. I'm not gonna lie. I know I played against them, but playing these actually seem like they're pretty appealing. So we got a couple of other support cards to go over though. So Gigantic Commander. So ironic because if I recall correctly, he called Destroyer. Gigantic Commander was an Aichi card that Aichi used in the against the Tachikaze dudes. When he was like going like hard, he did like some hard ass combos with like Lop Your Shooter to Commander or whatever, and they blare the gold about it. I think it's cool stuff. When this card is put on Rear Circle or Guardian Circle, so it's put, okay, the wording here would technically be placed on Rear Circle or put on Guardian Circle, but yeah. If your Vanguard has Spectral, it gets 5,000 power and shield until end of the turn.
I want to do it as a continuous, not gonna lie.
Yeah, if you have you just make it a con, right, instead of an on place. But I think the reason why he didn't want that is because he might have been a little concerned about it being a 15k like attacker like at all times, or like a 15k even against the opponent. But I don't think that's
in retire. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but yeah. When this unit is retired from Rear Circle by your card's ability, this is the reason why it's not a big deal, because it's probably dying anyway. If your opponent's Vanguard is great 3 or greater, Soul Blast 3!
Damn.
Yeah, screw the ride line, man. Just get up. Hey, choose like your Vanguards, and it's increase or decrease. It's that unit's original critical to 2.
I mean, that's a pretty fair trade-off as far as I'm concerned. I mean, also not only that. Remember, freaking Vortimer Grade 2, he puts himself back if he gets if he's on the rear guard circle, so he can still kind of recur if you can find a way to recur himself for recurring from drop, and he can put himself back in there for the cross.
I mean, yeah, okay, so the thing that gets me about this, though, is that, so increases or decreases into 2, right? Which means if you check a critical trigger on Spectral Duke, you're not actually going to put the critical on Spectral Duke, or I guess you do, and then you say no to the Gigantic Commander. This is a trippy card, right? Because, like, Soul Blast 3, like, oh, this is trippy, right? I think I would have, like, understood this a little more if we didn't have this weird bit with, like, Spectral Duke Dragon wanting the ride line, like, bit to stay in there. But with the Soul Blast, it's like, holy crap, that is an expensive cost. I mean...
That's expensive even for Genesis, and they actively still charge quite a bit.
Shoot, although Genesis, yeah, I mean, it is expensive for Genesis. Not that they would retire this, but yeah, it would be expensive. I mean, I do not want to pay this in PBO, but like, I think it... I mean, you wouldn't, because doesn't PBO get a critical anyway if you got Phantom Blasters? So, like, if you've got PBD in there, PBO gets the critical, so this is useless in PBO. It's just kind of a weird card. Like, I get it. It assumes you have a lot of soul and you're burning it all for that, but I wonder if it shouldn't have just been, like, a Soul Blast 2, considering that it's only conditional to the second attack, and it's also conditional to the to you not having had put a critical on your Vanguard. So... I feel like it's a little overbalanced.
This is where that Energy Blast 3 should have been. Like, put the Counter Blast on Spectral Duke's free schedule, put the Energy Blast 3 on this. I think this is where the Energy Blast.
Oh yeah, or actually, like, as a matter of fact, you can even make it an EB4, I think, right?
Yeah, EB4 is fine too.
I can see that, right?
Vortimer Grade 2 Energy charges 2 already.
Exactly, right? So just put an EB4 on that or something like that, so that it's a little tougher on any other future variants, but if you have the Vortimer version, it helps compensate for it. But yeah, because otherwise, I think this one's a little overbalanced. It's kind of it's undertuned. But I see the ideas here. It is an interesting support card. I could see running like a copy or two just as like a backup measure, just in case. So our last one is Black Mane Witch. Okay, we got some texture. When this unit is placed on rear circle, on rear circle, so just on rear circle, and then during the battle phase, this is going to call a card. If you have a grade 3 Abyss Dragon with 1 clan, counterblast 1, retire rear guard the different card name for this unit. Like the top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 2 grade 3 list unit cards with only 1 clan, a different card name, and call them the rear circle strip. That's a really cool skill. I like that skill.
Nice.
You see, so
Like,
you know what I would do in this crap? I'd be like, yeah, okay, so Spectral Duke, call top card. Oh no, it's a trigger. Whatever will I do? Convert that bitch. Convert it. You see, this is cool because this feels old-fashioned. This is that old-fashioned ride line like skill. Give up one to get two is nice.
This lore stripe skill.
It is. You know what's kind of what I do love though, that it does say specifically a grade 3 Abyss Dragon. So that means that it doesn't work with like Drag Heart and it doesn't work with Drag Strider, because Drag Strider is a grade 4 Abyss Dragon, so it can't work with that either. So a good way to dodge around like the crest deck sort of synergies there. I like that. You could tell that even like he balanced these in a really smart way. So Crazy's definitely showing more of his chops here. I'm more impressed by these than like the impacts overall. Retired from Rear Circle.
I remember from like a couple of years ago when I was hopping on one of your streams and he was showcasing some of his customs. We could have been nicer about it, but damn, some of his customs were making me raise some eyebrows. I was like, damn, bro.
I think he but he has improved though. Yeah.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like compare that to now, I'm just damn. These cards are fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
I want to play this shit.
I want to play it too. It feels flavorful. Well done, Crazy. We got one more effect though before we toot his horn, which is when it's retired from Rear Circle by your card's ability. Look at this. Put it into Soul. Okay. Look at the top card of your deck. Put it on the top or bottom. Yeah. Good card.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good card. Gets you basically converts into a soul. It's like it's so busted, but yeah, it's nice conversion right there. I like that effect a lot. Shoot, it's what's also interesting about how this effect works is it's actually for Spectral Duke in particular, which is where you want to play this anyway for the most part. It doesn't step on Coco's heels because or toes, because Coco is going to be doing this deck stack, but that'll be for your first battle. So we retire this at the end of the battle. This will be for Spectral Duke's second battle. So Coco's card has already been drove checked by that point, presumably. Not bad, not bad. Do you got any what would you rate this overall, brother?
9.
Same, 9. Strong 9. Yeah, like what a strong start to this. I think I love the image of it too, right? Like Crazy wasn't afraid to outsource to some previous like variants of like these cards to kind of like get an idea of how Bushiroad would design them, but then like put his own like spin on it, right? The way the ride line functions, and most particularly the whole put into Soul when retired, is a concept from V series, which is really strong, and he was definitely correct in using that here because it gives you a really solid basis on what you should expect from your resource game. I think he did like mess up a little bit on like the Gigantic Commander in my personal opinion, and the cost on Spectral Duke's restand's a little iffy, which is where the 1 point comes off on. But having said that, it's still far and away like one of the best customs we've seen this season so far, and we're just beginning.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, it's great. I love it.
Freaking amazing. All right, Crazy. Well done there. So now we move on to the next set here. I've done a lot of readings, so I think I'm going to leave it to my friend here to guide the readings on these next few. We have Conjure Dragons. Let me see if there's any notes about this, by the way, because I think this guy wrote some stuff.
There are a lot, apparently.
All right. Do you want to take the notes as well?
Sure. But Chase Lancaster, a front fighter, apparently. It's been a few years, but I'm alright having my stuff shared and shown to the public again. Sounds good to me. The only form of social media I got with some of my art still up and running is this retired DeviantArt account. Kind of a mood. Chase LW06. So if you guys want to see more of his art, go check him out there. All of the card's artwork has been done by yours truly, as well as the card's abilities themselves. The one I want to showcase the most is the Conjure Dragon archetype. It's one of my friend's decks I wanted to showcase before, but I missed the timing. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. I included in my last post, Tusei, that I posted a few months back, if you want to showcase a possible deck with that card as well. I have other archetypes planned in the very near future, and if anyone is interested, feel free to keep this link tapped for future updates, and anyone's free to proxy test the cards out. And then he also added an addendum, let me know if anyone can't see the content in the link, I'll adjust settings.
All good here?
There, cool. Oh yeah, he also noted which card is supposed to be the ace unit, so...
Makes sense. Well, we could probably figure that out because I'm looking at this just like off the cuff here. Most of these are grade 2 or lessers, so not many ideas here.
All right, so I guess we'll start with the ride line like before.
Makes sense. All right, so Conjure Dragon, Youth Drafka. Wow, say that 5 times. If you wrote upon with second draw card. This card is so busted.
Yeah, what was this guy smoking?
I like how it's a common. It's just the common. He's just like, this thing's not even like. Then again, that seems to be the most common, pun intended, like rarity, because people don't like really adjust the rarities on these, and so common is the default on like the card makers. All right, so what's the one?
A young scout who traverses the underworld. He wants to gather lost souls to his supreme master. Ooh, foreboding.
Yeah.
Right, now,
I think it's the yellow background one. Yeah, it's the yellow background one.
Alright, Conjure Dragon, Frajura. Gather the souls, then guide the souls, then offer the souls. Gather the souls, then guide the souls. Oh, this guy's not necessarily.
Man,
anyway,
he works a 9 to 5 and he hates it here. Just right over him already.
Such a mood, dude. Anyway, Auto. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 2 card with Conjure Dragon in its card name, choose a card in your soul, call it to rearguard circle, choose one of your rearguards, put one card from the top of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit, then discard the top card of your deck.
Oh, we got some Tachikaze and Keta Sanctuary.
Yep. Okay, let me reread that real quick. Cause I think my brain melted halfway through that because of how much stipulations. Okay. So when it's rode upon, you choose a card in your soul, call it to rearguard circle, so you call the starter, presumably.
Or this guy, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, or this card, yeah. Choose one of your rear guards, put one card from the top of your deck face down as a equip gauge. Right? Okay, yeah, so that's touch cards, and discard top card. Okay, so you remove 2 cards from the top of your deck, basically. Interesting. Alright, and so act rear guard circle once per turn. Energy Blast 2 and retire this unit, and Soul Charge 2.
Fair is fair.
I appreciate the effort, but when he's retiring himself, the once per turn isn't really necessary. But again, I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort, though.
Can you imagine if the Vanguard said, your rear guards can't be retired? It's like, oh.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, okay. It doesn't even say opponent's card effects, it just cannot be retired, period. That would be potentially problematic for generics. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this tells me 2 things. 1, you're probably going to be needing a lot of soul, and 2, you're going to be needing equip gauges for things.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, well,
I bet it's the purple background. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the one with the gold dragon. Conjure Dragon, Hakdora. Oh no! Alright, well, let me read the flavor first. Oh god, no! Don't disrespect the card like that, dude. Alright, flavor text. Unlike other denizens, we seek out souls to fuel research. Our ruler desires it as such. So it reads like a Link Joker. Why is this?
Lord.
It's a Keter Sanctuary. It reads like a Link Joker card.
Oh, dude, this was a rare. What the hell? It's actually a rare. It's not a common. That's awesome.
Yep. Alright, so Auto. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 card with Sin Roltz in its card name, choose one of your rear guards, put one card from the top of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit, then discard the top card of your deck. Okay, so it's like a self-mill deck almost.
Yeah, although what's interesting about this one is it doesn't call itself to the rear circle, so you just need to be able to keep the rear guards there. That could be potentially problematic.
That's a bit unfortunate because around grade 2 is also when card decks start getting access to control effects.
Exactly. If it was like the grade 1, I would understand it, albeit you would need to like commit a grade 1 or less. So either way, I think it's kind of a lose-lose to expect them to have the card.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alright, now, act rearguard circle once per turn. Cost, counter +1, and retire a rearguard. This time not itself, so this time the once per turn is necessary. Choose up to 2 cards from your drop zone and put them into your hand.
Nope.
Hi, 2 PGs, or hi, PG and OT.
PG Persona Ride. What else? And you're just discarding top cards of deck, right? So you're gonna see those cards at some point or other. Oh my. Oh, and this is generic, by the way.
Yeah, so you can just run this in red style. Hey, let me get my Leon Lourdes back.
Dude, oh man, we gotta think bigger, dude. We gotta think so much bigger.
Oh no, wait, just freaking Luard stall. Just keep recurring your PG.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Just use this in Luard. Just retire a grade 1 and then like add back PGs and just like recur them ad infinitum, right? If they ever retire Hakdora, then you just Hak to them back to the bottom of the deck, and it's like, ooh.
All right, basically. All right, so right off the bat, I'm gonna say either this thing needs to get a name lock, or this ability is just gonna be too ridiculous, and it just you're gonna have to add an effect add a clause that says like only if your Vanguard is a Sin Roltz or something.
So thinking about theory of it, right? Because obviously it's completely busted and too generic. But theory, so the theory here, right? The theory, I guess, is this guy's supposed to be a recursion piece. So he's assuming you're milling a lot. So your equip gauges might be used as costs. But like, It's too bad that it is so hyper generic as well, because if it was at least like specified to some kind of restriction, I could have understood a little bit more about like the play pattern here, right? If it's any 2 cards, like for instance, what if it said like, oh, it's supposed to be add 2 like grade 2 or greater normal units? Well, that probably means that you have more grade 2 or greater focus. Or what if it was bot decking cards instead of adding the back, and so it's just trying to combat like deck out? Like, it's hard to say what the purpose of this thing is other than just recur things.
It's just,
so it's a little
like,
unfortunate.
This is like pot of greed, basically. It's just, or more specifically, pot of avarice, because it's basically functioning the same way.
Pot of need.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what the big boy does.
Yes, sir. The big AC
Conjure
unit here.
Dragon Beckoner. Sinrult. I do like the art, though. It's very psychedelic. It kind of reminds me of Dragon in a way, along with a buddy fight unit of some sort.
Oh yeah, I definitely gave Buddy Fight from those wings that look like they come from 3 different units.
I want to say Dragula with Yamigeto, I want to say, just based on the color scheme.
I'm getting a little like minor vibe. Oh, sorry, I interrupted there, but I'm getting a minor vibe of like some sort of like Yu-Gi-Oh manga dragon.
I could see that too. Yeah, that was like the third thing I would have said. But yeah, it sounds so petty when I say it like that. Anyway, flavor text. I shall seek what the souls contain and the mana in which these harbor. Bro, this really needs to be a Link Joker unit, dude. Just read like Link Joker flavor text.
Well, I mean, the grade 2 did say that's what the boss wants, and the boss wants what the boss wants.
Yeah, clearly. All right. Anyway, so auto. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, okay, we got a good video to start. Idea to start. Choose up to 2 of your rear guards. Put 1 card from the top of your deck face down as an equip gauge for those units, then discard the top 2 cards of your deck.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna have 2 rear guards there reliably by this timing.
Yeah, this is that's a bit of a hard ask, but this deck has got a freaking despise any control deck, dude.
Gundiva in the house.
Like, if this was an act, I could justify it, but the fact that it's on place. So basically, if this is your first ride, then if you're going second, you're just never gonna get this off properly.
Yeah.
So that's already 1 week. So again, if this was an act skill, I could see it working, because at least then you have time to set it up. But like the way as it stands right now, especially with the way the game's going, well, I guess he did also say these are old, so maybe that's the reason why these seem a little outdated. But anyway, I'll say the rest of my thoughts for later. Active Vanguard Circle once per turn. Costs counter +1 and retire a rearguard. Okay, Shadow Paladin-esque. Or Tachikata, as you said. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's rearguards and retire them. Fair. If you're retiring a rearguard with equip gauge for this unit's cost, before retiring the rearguard, choose up to 2 of that unit's equip gauge and put them into your hand.
Oh no!
So that's just a plus. I can kind of see what the idea is. Basically, okay, so the equip gauge basically is like the mana of like a unit. So like when he retires it, he literally like pulls the mana.
He converts the soul, which I guess is also a vicarious draw effect, because it went from top deck to field then to hand. So it's like you're kind of drawing them. You know what though? I kind of understand the grade 2 a little bit. Like the grade 2 is still completely effing busted for the reasons stated, but now I kind of understand the idea of what the 2 is. I think the idea of the CB is to retire the rear guard to add it back along with the gauge it had, or maybe if it had 2 gauges, add back its gauges to convert its soul for those gauges. Like, I think that's what he was going for. It's just, too generic.
The wording needs to be way more specific otherwise. Because after this we'll probably rate it based on the concept, assuming it's what it should be, which is like based on what you just said. I'll rate it based on that, and then I'm gonna rate it objectively, like how.
Yeah, like two different ratings. That seems pretty fair. It also probably means we're gonna have similar ratings instead of the conglomerate ratings where one's a 5, one's a 7. They just swap every time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. All right, and now he has a third skill. I'm really not a fan of that. I've learned I recently try to always stick to 2 on a grade 3 if you can help it.
Right.
Ignore Gandiva masks. That thing's an abomination. Anyway, auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. When it attacks, cost Energy Blast 3 and discard a card from your hand. And this unit gets 5+5 power +5 and crit +0 on a turn. That's it?
I'm sure. You know what? With how much you're plussing, do discard, please.
Yeah, honestly, I would make this the equivalent of like those like old limit break cards where it's like you get counter +1 to get +2k. It's just, but it's not once per turn.
It's a Slagle double edge.
Yeah, just make it an act skill and just Energy Blast 3 discard a card. This unit gets 5k +5k and a crit. Just go ham.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, like it's completely skewed in plussing, but it has no win condition.
Yeah, exactly. So like, is this like, and you can't even say this is a grind deck because you're milling through your deck so quickly. you're not likely to win any sort of deck out game reasonably unless you're dealing with something that's pluses so absurdly. That at that point, most likely you're gonna lose to the fact that that other deck just pluses so absurdly anyway.
Yeah, I might just like play those orders. I might play those orders that like bot deck your normal units from like the drop zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Keto's got a couple of those. Because at that point, we just need to hang on.
Yeah. All right. So I guess before we judge everything, let's go through the support cards first. So I'll just go. I think I'll just go down the line. So next up is Conjure Dragon Knight Sin Freya. It's the card right next to the boss. In the
I got him.
Yeah. All right. Mate unit.
Oh, haven't seen this concept get used very much. That's neat.
Oh, it's also a dual nation. Okay. Oh. I'm glad someone capitalizing on this more than Bushiroad at least.
Oh, 10k base shield, so it's kind of like mate unit that's got higher stats. Interesting.
10k base shield and 12k base power. Oh,
makes sense. All right, I got you.
Alright, Mate unit Sinril. This card cannot be written and can only be called to Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle if you have a Vanguard with Sinril in its card name. Okay, fair enough.
Makes sense.
Continuous Rearguard Circle. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Alright, that's a very strong protection effect already. Auto Rearguard Circle. Okay, I was about to say it gets around Akshay, but I actually realized Akshay actually still gets around this because she doesn't choose, just wipes the front row, so she still can't get protected from that.
Yeah, I think it's the better protection of the two, but it still gets like outmoded by Akshay, and also I guess things like Chronos Command if you're worried about that.
Yeah,
although honestly, if I'm playing this deck, please Chronos Command, Daddy, can you please bot deck my cards? I drew too much. I'm about to deck out.
Yeah, exactly. All right, second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, Energy Blast 3 or Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your rear guards, put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit.
Okay.
Alright, auto, and then third skill, auto when this unit is retired from rear guard or guardian circle. Choose one of your rear guards and put this card face down as an equip gauge for that unit.
So this one's like a facilitator. It's definitely a different kind of mate unit because most mate units are like the ones that we've seen so far, or like mate oriented ones, are kind of dynamic in nature. This one has the higher base stats of being a mate unit, but it's just like gauge. It's mainly just gauge all around.
I feel like if anything, you kind of got it twisted because this thing has the protection, and because all of your cards basically aside from this one are weak to some form of control. And given this thing is the mate unit, I would think that you would want to be stacking all the gauges onto this unit, which would make this your win con together with your boss. Because this thing is the one that has the protection. Maybe you can only have one copy of this on the field, and then whenever anything is retired, this thing is just absorbing all of the equip gauges as a result. So this way all the souls and mana just travel into the mate unit. Like the Vanguard's literally directing all that mana into this mate unit, basically.
I would have had this guy be a win condition on rear guard. It gets like scaling benefits based off the number of like the equip gauge or something. Because see, now I understand if that was the case. If he had like some really strong with Gal Mikado, the Buddy Fight deck, where they had like that Drum the Future, which is sort of like a combination of Sentinel Strike to the Grapple Drive. Like if it was something crazy like that as a late game condition, I would understand it because that's pretty sick then. But it doesn't do that at all. Here's a big flaw about this one too. It's a mate unit for Sin Root, so it can only be called if you got a Sin Root. None of the ride line except for the Grade 3 is that, so you can't even early call it to like stay there in time for the on-play skills. So that's another kind of flaw about this.
Which I can see why that might be intentional, considering it's a 12k base grade 2. You probably don't want to necessarily be calling.
Well, yeah, but you can call Erzurur as a 15k base grade 2 with 15k intercept as on turn 2. Erzurur lets you do that because your grade 2 is Virgilla as well.
Okay, never mind. I guess. Okay, yeah, you got no excuses then. just let him call. Just let him call, man.
Yeah, just let him call, right? Like this is weaker stat-wise than Erzurur, and it's slower than it as well, right? Now, of course, the benefits is that this has effects and Erzurur doesn't. But like, I don't know. Somehow Erzurur just having the better stats just kind of like fits better with its deck anyway because its purpose is clear.
Yeah. I do like the art though. I will say I appreciate the way that you drew the horse's head because that thing does look very dynamic and very sick. I'll give it that.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since I've seen Orgeyser Dragon. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Actually, this kind of reminds me of Arvak from Skyrim. Reminds me of that.
Okay, yeah.
I see what Arvak is out there. Arvak is probably a callback to Artax from Neverending Story, if anyone even remembers.
Artax.
Oh yeah,
what a sad scene.
I like the art. Skills could use some work. I think you have a vision, but you're not really capitalizing on it right now. But we have 3 card slots. I'll eat my words on the next ones.
So
Okay,
what
this
about the
just-
grade one that looks like a Velociraptor?
I don't know, but I opened the work in progress one and it's like I like the art, but there's no card to review. So okay, what's
Oh, okay.
do we want to look at the order, or do we want to look at the red demon looking one first?
Let's look at the red demon one. Why not? Because actually, no. Let's save that for last because it seems like it's a different card, so it doesn't seem like it's actually part of this archetype.
Yeah, okay, so Conjure Magic Soul Reap. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I think I've missed the flavor text on that last one. The duality of the Conjure Dragons, preserves or destroys, and we have no in between. No
aren't
offense,
you guys
I
the
think-
in between that? Like you guys yourselves are the in between.
I was about to say, given the way your deck plays, the in between right now is that you're not destroying or preserving anything. You're just kind of dying.
Damn.
No offense. No offense. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it reminds me of like Ghost Trick, where their whole gimmick is to get beat up and see if it works out.
Yeah, basically. It kind of sucks that I actually like the art for a lot of these cards, and I see a potential, and like, because like I said, I could see how like that mate unit, if it absorbs all the mana, and or even the boss unit absorbs all the mana, and like this mate unit's redirecting it all. I could see the potential, but it's not common. Anyway,
It's the inherent balancing of mankind. If you're great at art, you can't be great at design.
Hey, wait a second. What are you saying about my art?
Damn! Oh no, he caught on. Well, thank you for watching the video, guys. It was great having you here.
Oh boy. We're done. I'm canceling him. Anyway.
Damn it.
All right. The order card. Normal order. Conjure Magic. Soul Reap. I think you could. I don't know if Ayako updated his website or not. But I don't know if you can add like an order type next to that. That'll probably be what it is. You can order normal order / Conjure Magic, and it'll just be called Soul Reap. Is my guess. Anyway.
Yeah, because you can put in type stone in the Ayako thing, I think.
Okay, then. Alright, then yeah. Maybe next time he can try that. Flavor text. Consider expelling the Soul of Mercy when compared to what the other nations use them for. Okay, that flavor text alone has me very intrigued because I actually really like the lore implications behind it.
What does Brandgate do with them? Do they just use them as, like, fuel for Impaldio or something? Is he a Soul Eater on the side?
I have no idea, but that would be sick.
God, now I'm just imagining like a dragon dancer over in Dragon Empire, and there's some country but I'm like, I like to throw some butter on my soul, and then I'll skillet her up for about 8 minutes on each side, and they got a nice sear on the
Everyone
wisp.
just casually had soul spice in their cupboard.
Yeah, it's the most horrifying secret that no one tells you about, Cray. They're all soul eaters.
Oh yeah. Alright, now for the effect. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Conjure Dragon in its card name. Fair enough, I see quite a few. And thankfully, that is one thing that that the entire Rise line shares.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be what the mate unit needs, but so be it.
I would hope so. Yeah, perform each of the following according to the number of your rearguards with equip gauges on them. 2 or less, choose one of your rearguards, put one card from the top of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit, then discard the top card of your deck.
Okay.
Okay, so that's typical from what we've seen. Now, 3 or more. Choose up to 7 cards from your drop zone and shuffle them in. Okay, so
oh my god! What the hell? Rezile Divine Skill Hatsa!
Yeah, for real. I mean, good thing is that you can't do there's no middle ground where you can activate them both simultaneously, at least. But,
I don't even care about the 2 or less. Everything else in the deck does that. Give me the freaking busted ass shuffle effect. I want Dreaming Dragon, dude.
Yeah, for real. Without a draw, that is just Dreaming Dragon.
Holy crap! What the fuck?
Damn, all right.
Wow, I mean, we went through a lot of like, I don't know, this card's really that great, and then suddenly the most busted order I've seen all day.
I mean, to be fair, even though the effect is really strong, I don't really see how this helps the deck at all because
it puts back all of your triggers. So you deliberately put back normal units and PGs as like your free plussing, and then you keep deck compressing triggers to a point where all your drive checks will always be triggers, most likely heals.
That's true. Not to mention because it's Keter, you can run the freaking the Keter pile just easily, especially because there's no rearguard supports that I can see. Anyway,
it's easy.
One last skill. Act Drop. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Sinrolled in its card name, cost retire a rearguard or remove this card, and countercharge 1, soul charge 1.
Why not? Actually, wait. I'm also confused about something here. Now that I'm looking at this, your main Vanguard doesn't Soul Blast, and your main unit hardly Soul Blast. Why does this and the grade 1 have a focus on Soul Charging? Now that I think about it, Soul does not seem to be the issue.
Very much.
You know what? They missed out on a joke. They missed out on a joke here. This deck is all about souls. Why is it not based on soul charging?
Yeah, why is this not a Dark States deck?
Dude, bigger question. Yeah, that's true. Bigger effing question. Soul Blast, Soul Charge, Souls?
Alright, also, I completely glossed over this card, but let me read this Velociraptor thing before.
Yeah, I was wondering we were going to get to this guy.
Yeah, I completely missed this one. I do, and again, I do like the art, so. Okay, flavor text. Consume the souls, for today we feast. You, give me your soul!
He does not seem like a good coworker for this workplace.
No. Also, again, why is this not a Dark States card, or why is it not a Bradgate deck? Because I see the freaking bullseye looking symbol, like Robo Eye on the freaking chest. I think
no. Right, like this guy is everything, right? Because the only thing he's missing is Stoicheia. Dude's got, well, actually maybe not even. He's got the green eyes of Stoicheia. He's got the purplish sickly aura of Dark States. He's got the bullseye of Brandgate with the little silvery armor. He's got bones coming out of him like a Velociraptor because he's a bone Velociraptor from Dragon Empire.
That order card looks like it could be a Zorga order. So he has a Stoicheia influence right there.
Nah, and before that order card is randomly a lyrical card because why not?
Yeah, just because they could. Yeah. Anyway, let me read this. Section. We're gonna spend the entire time on just these two Google Drives.
Yeah, no kidding.
Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. When it attacks or boosts, put the top card of your deck face down as a equip gauge for this unit, then discard the top card of your deck. Okay, why is this also just not of Dragon Empire? Because it's just Tachikaze effects.
God, man.
I gotta stop saying these things, otherwise we're gonna be here all day. Anyway, continuous Vanguard Circle. This unit gets power plus 2k for each of this unit's equip gauges. Finally, some scaling. Finally. And if it has 3 or more equip gauges, it cannot be chosen by your opponent's card.
Hallelujah! A purpose.
Finally.
A purpose. Oh, Jesus. Of all the things that Tachikaze did, I wish he did more of that one.
Yeah, for real. Alright, and then it has a third effect. Not sure how I feel about 3 effects on a grade 1, but you know what? I'll get my thoughts about that later. Auto, when this unit is retired from Rearguard Circle by your card's ability, you may return up to 3 of this unit's equip gauges to your hand.
You were doing so good! You were doing so good, and this third auto skill stumbled into the party and says, "Hey guys, we haven't had enough plussing today." Yes, father.
Okay. This isn't even necessary, because all the other cards seem to have the same general idea, where it's like when you retire a Rearguard by your card's ability. It's like when you retire a Rearguard, you can add 2 cards to your hand. Just like, they already do that. Like, the grade 2 already does that.
My disappointment is immeasurable. My day is ruined. I hate that auto skill. Everything else is beautiful. This auto skill is like such vegan-based auto, dude.
Yeah, at least the 5k base, so it's some semblance of balancing, I guess. But like, if you're only going for 3, then that means he's 7, 9, 11. He'd be 11k. He'd be an 11k unit. Assuming you're not just constantly stacking stuff on it, but it's like... You know what, I'll let you talk first, because I've been talking a lot, so...
I just thought of something really funny, and I don't think... So, you know I'm a Shadow Paladin player, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
This is the greatest retire fodder in the history of Shadow Paladin, as evidenced by it being a massive punching engine that also allows you to call it off of Nemain in Premium. Because it's a 5k base.
I quit!
Yeah, you thought Crazy's cards were PBO support. Nah, this is the real PBO support. This random ass Velociraptor that combines all the nations except Lyrical.
Okay, you know, the crazy thing is that if you're not fighting a control deck for some reason, somehow, and you do manage to get this thing, because when it attacks or boosts, that means this is completely generic. Which means anything you put as an equip gauge onto this unit, this can go into any deck. And if you last long enough for it to happen, then you can just return 3 equip gauges to your hand. I mean, you probably wouldn't live long enough for that. Or your opponent wouldn't live long enough for that, depending on the deck you're playing. But like... Huh?
I think it's you know what? Okay, considering the next card is, so yeah, it's really confusing. And we're about to have to grade that, because the next card is a completely different card that shouldn't be a part of this grading. So,
yeah, well, I'll read that real quick, and then we'll do everything else.
Oh, you want to do everything else? Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I figured we'd like rate these, leave it out of our minds, and then like look at that guy and give a quick comment on him. Because otherwise, we might accidentally.
We can do that. Although just from first glance, I can see it's like a Marley and clone or something.
Let's
that first
see.
skill just says you can't call anything with continuous act or auto.
Oh, it's that one Fiorenza, I think is the name of that lyrical boss that does that too.
That's what I'm thinking of. It was a lyrical boss. Anyway,
okay.
I've been talking a lot, so you go first.
Great. So the effects are like it's like a 3 out of 10. It has like the occasional splotches of like really neat effects. Maroda, ironically, is probably the closest to being like a really nice unit. Because it incentivizes a style of trying to stack gauges, and then you get cumulative benefits off of gauges, right? So it seemed like we could have had something there. But then between its like final effects, the effects of your ride line units, you just all gauges are meant to be is just vicarious ways of plussing a ton. Like it's all it does, right? Which is infinitely sad because I'm like, what is really the point of these being gauges instead of just like draws, right? I feel like the soul conversion element of it would have been more impactful if there was a benefit to keeping gauges, but then adding gauges back is more of like a consolation prize in case crap happens, right? Rather than what feels to be the whole goal of the deck. So it feels like a very jumbled mess, with the Great Shoe like dual nation mate unit being the most jumbled. Like it doesn't know its purpose, and the purpose that it thinks like it's going for is not the one the deck needs. You know, the deck needs like a win condition. It doesn't need more ramp for things that it's probably just going to be adding back to hand anyway. What about you?
I'd say the best words I can think of to describe this set is misguided and underdeveloped. Because, clearly the main purpose of these cards was mostly to showcase the art, and the art does look nice. I like the art. I like the designs. If they went with better cards, I would probably actually want to play them. But as it stands right now, the deck doesn't really have a focus. Like, it has a focus, but doesn't know what to do with it. It wants to use equip gauges. I see the idea behind the equip gauges. Basically, like, each unit that's their soul. Like, that's their theoretical soul of each unit. But it doesn't really translate well through gameplay because, like, again, like you said, like Murata's the only one who really benefits from this because, like I said, he's constantly gorging himself and getting equip gauges, so that makes sense. He's constantly eating, so like that makes sense from a character standpoint. But like, you look at Sin Freya and it's just like, okay, so this is the protection unit, this is the mate unit. It's like basically the top dog servant for the Vanguard. And it's basically just, I become fodder to be eaten constantly. And it's just like...
If you were meant to be fodder, why can't you be chosen by card effects? Aren't you supposed to stay around there and take gauges?
It's like, I'm assuming it's when he intercepts, but then it's just like, why doesn't... If he's a mate unit, why doesn't he have like a self-recursion more than that? Yeah, like if he's supposed to be the mate unit, why doesn't he have a form of self-recursion that occurs very often? And not only that, it's just like, I feel like the way the equip gauges would work better if you want to translate it to like this mana soul theme that you have going. How about make it, well, first of all, make this Dark States, because this clearly feels like this reads like a Dark States deck.
Yeah.
That's for some reason a Counter Sanctuary deck. Have every equip gauge that you lose go into your soul, and then have your boss or mate unit ramp based on how many cards you have in soul or your equip gauge. Or maybe have your Vanguard have an effect where when he attacks, Energy Blast 3, absorb all of your rear guards and their respective equip gauges, and then he gets power, crit, and then maybe an additional effect based on how much stuff he absorbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems better.
Yeah, and that's him that's essentially him capitalizing on absorbing and studying all this mana, and then maybe have an effect if you want to end kind of that preserve idea in one of the flavor texts. You could have it so like at the end of the turn when he's done and he's effectively burned himself out, or actually no. How about this? Have your Vanguard be focused on the destroy aspect. Have your soulmate be focused on the preserve aspect. So that when your Vanguard is going, he just goes all in on like the offense. Whereas Sin Freya works as the recursion, as like what you're doing. Like so this guy stays on the board. He's constantly on the front row. He can't be absorbed by your Vanguard, but he can take on the equip gauges. So then what he can do is that like when your Vanguard absorbs all those equip gauges, he has a timing where like when an equip gauge will be put into your soul, pay a cost, and you can add this equip gauge that you put into soul to your hand or something like that.
Makes sense. I mean, I would take that too. So overall, what would you rate it?
Oh God. Like I said, there's a potential rating and then there's the objective rating. The objective rating is probably it's like a 2 out of 10 because it's it's very undercooked and very underdeveloped. There's an 8 out of 10 potential here. Honestly, like I think if you figure out what direction you want this deck to go in, and you have a better idea of what they actually do and what the general theme of this deck is, what you have a start with. The equip gauge, I get it. The equip gauge is each unit's soul. So then when they die and then their equip gauge goes somewhere, that's your Vanguard literally collecting that mana. So I get that, and that's cool. But again, you need to capitalize off of that mechanic properly. Right now, it's just kind of just doing whatever. The best way I can describe it right now is it's flailing around right now. It doesn't really know what it's doing.
Right.
Once it knows what it's doing, it has potential to be like 10 out of 10, honestly. Like, it's a really cool concept, potential. And it has great art. Unfortunately, just the effects are not living up to it. I'm sorry I got very passionate because I actually really like the artwork. I actually really like this idea for the cards, but just, oh god.
It's from love. It's from a place of love.
Yeah. Passion. I do like this order, though. The order has probably the best... I mean, it's freaking bonkers for the 3 or more, but generally speaking, this and Muroda are probably the best glimpses you get into what this deck can potentially do. Especially with the flavor text.
Oh yeah, the flavor text is like, wow, what are we accusing the nations of? What happens to souls when they die, right? Is there no afterlife? That is
the Illuminati?
No, dude, cue the music, man. Oof. All right, let's move on from that.
Anyway, sorry, I rambled.
That is
fine. I want to like these cards. It's just anyway.
That was pretty intense there. Let me go ahead and get to the next cards because it turns out that we've got some shadow powers. We got some shadow powers. We got some gear chronicles. How about you take the gears? I'll take the shadows.
Do we not want to look at Taiyusei?
Oh frick, you're right. Taiyusei is still there. I forgot it.
If you want.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read Taiyusei.
Yeah. Alright, Demonic Spirit of Scarlet Skies, Taiyusei. It is unwise to peer onto the eclipsed moon, for prolonged gaze means hasten death. I feel like he and Vaserigger would get along great. Anyway.
I feel like him and literally any new Batama unit in existence would get along great.
Yeah,
they're weaving the
he's
hell
a Dragon
out of
Empire demon, so it checks out. Yeah, alright. Continuous Vanguard Circle. You cannot call unit cards with any continuous act or auto ability. Cannot call to Guardian Circle 2. Fair enough. Continuous Vanguard Circle. All the units on your Guardian Circle get shield plus 5k. If an opponent's rearguard was retired this turn, all of your front row units get power plus 5,000. Until end of turn, I assume. So, yeah, you might want to add that clause, because otherwise this could be busted. But I'm assuming that's just because you forgot. We all do it. I don't blame you. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost Soul Blast 1 and Energy Blast 2. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 unit cards from among them, call them to rearguard circle, and shuffle the deck. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Okay?
Well, like Furienza. Makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, count plus 1. Choose one of your rearguards and stand it. If your opponent has 2 or less rearguards, choose 2 rearguards instead of 1. Okay, nice. Yep. It scales off the fact that you can retire, so let's go. I'm not sure how you're going to ever get that off when none of your rearguards can retire or anything, but... Yeah, no. I like the idea. This feels a lot better executed than the other cards, at least.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 I'd give it personally. It's definitely very derivative of Furienza, but because of that, it's definitely kind of like riding the coattails of being like a fairly well-designed card there. But not exactly the most like bonkers concept, admittedly. Because so it's not too novel to me, but I think it's perfectly serviceable, and I think it would be kind of nice to sort of like reignite the potential for a trend where like each nation has a card like that, and it's not just lyrical doing random lyrical nonsense.
Yep. Yeah, this card knows what it wants to do, and it knows how to do it. Generally speaking, not sure how you're gonna attain 2 or less rearguards thing, but when he can only retire 1 per turn, but
Well, I mean, if the opponent is like getting rid of their own rearguards, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, you know what else you can be? What if you're attacking on their rearguards with your rearguards prior to the restand? You might be able to get it easier that way too.
Okay, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Oh, you know one thing this also could do? Retire orders. Because unit cards is his restriction, right? But if you use retire orders, that can field wipe a couple of cards there, and then that'll help get you there.
Cheeky.
Yeah, it's got some hidden potential. Maybe we should have looked at the moon.
I see you, son of a bitch. You son of a gun. All right.
That one's got a nuance. I'm not gonna lie. That one would be deserving of some cooking.
That was pretty good. I'll give that one 8 out of 10 as well.
Hell yeah. All right, so next
Anyway.
up we've got Geyser Dragon as a grade 3, so you know we're in for a good time.
Oh,
Uh,
it's from the G era. It's a regular grade 3.
Yeah, it's got 11k base, GPT 15. So essentially, based on this set code and the lack of any other markers, like any other abilities aside from Twin Drive and Grade 3, right? That's not an ability, but it seems like it's meant to be a Strider from like end of G if G had continued. So I'm gonna assume that's what he's going for here. And because that, we'll have to look at this from the perspective of end of G level power creep rather than like some premium level power creep. All right, RPG Master. Let's see what a man with a darker regular tag is capable of for designing Shadow Paladins. And I guess also Gear Chronicle after that. So we've got Anomaly Dragon Geyser Dragon. Auto on the Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1. When your G unit strides, you may pay the cost. Ooh, it even reads like a G unit card. That's kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
If you do, look at 4 cards at the top of your deck. Reveal up to 2 cards, call one to rear circle, add the other one to your hand. If you build a grade 1 or lower card, choose on your opponent's rear cards and retire. Okay, that's definitely fitting for Geyser. Has a little bit of the Doom like rearguard punish, but mainly it's supposed to get you resources, so it's a lot like Claret Sword that way. Makes sense. Auto on the Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 2. Choose 2 of your grade 1 or lower cards from your drop zone and put on the bottom of your deck. At the end of each turn, you may pay the cost. You do draw a card. Yeah, this actually, like, this is absolutely bonkers, but, you know, it is end of, like, G plus power creep, so I actually think this makes sense. This is a nice card to me. What about you?
Considering end of G, this actually feels a little underpowered, if anything. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Card balance is kind of hard to find nowadays, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I actually think this one's a little more powerful than like we give it credit, like you'd be giving it credit for because of that GB2 skill. That GB2 skill effectively lets you recycle like over the course of both turns. You're recycling 4 and getting 2 draws, and that could be like any cards that are grade 1 or less. So those are your primary search targets along with your triggers.
Yeah, I guess that also lets you recycle dealots of all like every single turn as well, because you're always gonna have a rich. You're always gonna have a. You're mostly always gonna be striding into Ritual Vanguard, so dealot will always be going off, and you'll be able to constantly recycle her. That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really powerful Strider, and of course you're getting a double like plus when you do the CB. So yeah, it's like it's definitely I think like one of the strongest Striders we would have during that era, but it's not so absurdly like broken that like it would like overcome anything. So yeah, so far so good. What do we got for the second one though? So this is Liberation Black. He became a Liberator. What? Liberation Black Dragon Geyser Demise. Okay, now it's grade 4 triple drive. It's kind of funny seeing him do the Keter Sanctuary symbols on top there instead of like the Dragon Empire. So these are like actually these are dual nation, or well, these are Keter nation stuff instead of a United Sanctuary. I don't think G would have done that, but you know, just a minor little thing. What's up?
It is what it is. It's just what can you do considering? I think Ayako's site really only allows for like the D standard format stuff now, so you can't do old G styles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think there's an old version of it could have done. Anyway, that's besides the point. Act on the Vanguard Circle once per turn. Counterblast 1. Flip up any card from your G zone and choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. Okay. Reveal 3 cards at the top of your deck. I like this cost better than the original because the original had you flip up like I think Geyser Dragon or something like that.
Something Geyser Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, which is whack as hell. Reveal 3 cards at the top of your deck. For each grade 2 or greater card reveal, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire. Hey, it does crap that is of its grade 1 or less. Hey, for each grade 1 or less card revealed, this effect search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or lower card called to rear circle. Oh yes, where's that Grolsnay, bro? I want Grolsnay on the double.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, you're thinking Morion Sphere? Yeah, that's another good beater for this deck. That one will get you your nice and easy 21k.
Oh lord. I just read the next line of text.
Put the cards revealed for this effect into your hand. Yep. Okay. If the number of face-up Geyser in your G-Zone is 3 or more, this unit gets 5k power critical. So let me get this straight, right? Let's say that I'm just playing my deck, right? My Strider has been like putting back some cards, so you know he's pretty decent at that, right? So I reveal the top 3 cards of my deck by retiring 3, right? So a break even. except what I reveal is 2, like, maybe a grade 1, a grade 0, and a grade 3. I then, therefore, off of this break even for a CB, retire one of your rear guards and then call any 2 grade 2 or less units from my deck to the field. Any 2. There's no archetype restriction lock here. The only grade restrictions that can't be grade 3 or greater, which you wouldn't want to call those anyway for the most part, because those probably suck in Shadow Paladin. Wow. Oh, and this just gets a little, like, that does a little treat, gets 5 candy critical. That's just whatever. Yeah. That's just like an Orgeyser Doom thing, but a little bit better, because it's any Orgeysers, and you get a little power with it. That's fine. Okay, so... what do you think about this?
I mean, honestly, some of it reads like a Fighter's Collection stride in a good way, because some of those Fighter Collection strides were actually decent. Then, like, the reveal 3 and add 3, I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds about like a late G, because they actually had, that late G was some absurd ass plussing, so honestly, that kind of checks out. So, honestly, yeah, I mean, combine this with with the Orgeyser stride, is like you're plussing 4 essentially, so. Plussing 4? No, like you technically break even, but because you're drawing into the deck, then it's like you're still plussing, and then plus 2 with the superior call, well, assuming you get that scenario. And on top of that, you're adding 2 off the stride skill, so that's effectively like a +7 in essence.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a bias for recycling, which is why I like Orgeyser Dragon a lot. Because I think that bias was really propagated from my years of like going into deck outrange by being just playing Shadow Paladin. Because sorry fellas, I don't think Luar's the coolest part of the clan. Bite me. So as a Revenger Claret Diablo player, I was always running out of cards. Always.
I respect that. I always wanted to like Claret more. Actually, I think I built a Claret Revolt deck before I built Luar, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, right. Same here. I did something similar, but it's not the time, despite it being like right in front of our face in a way. So this is definitely like this is a really strong card. Now, having said that though, I think this card actually, even though it's like really insane and probably plus it's just a little too much for what they would give for end of G, just a little bit too much. I think that I think what it would do is if for grade 2 or for grade 2 or greater, it would probably give itself power. For grade 1 or less, it would retire an opponent's unit, but then if you revealed 2 or more grade 1 or lesses from the top 3, then it could search your deck for any grade 2 or lower card. Like just 1 though. That way, but I think that might be a little better because you're also getting a lot of other plussing, but maybe not. It's hard to say, right? But having said that though, this is more or less right where it would need to be, right? Because the thing that Orgeyser Demise lacks is it's not a win condition. It's a hefty Vanguard attack, and then that's literally it. It doesn't give you any multi-attacks. It's no guard restriction, no nothing, right? So this does not compete with some of your better win condition cards like Dragabyss Luard or Drag Strider's a good win condition. We're not going to include premium stuff, so I won't bring up Orfessa into the discussion here, but you know that
Clarence or
Helheim
was it? Helheim, yeah. Helheim, I think, is a better finisher than those two.
Right, which is nice, because Helheim just being a free multi-attack and stuff like that is good for it, because, I mean, that's the Helheim's multi-attack's not the most insane thing ever, so it deserved to be the way it was. Yeah, I mean, these are pretty good. I'd probably get these about, about an 8.5. I like the nostalgia of it. It hits some biases for me personally. I think it's a little funny how they are literally only doing Orgeyser things like through and through for the most part. So like if I was to expect anything different from it, I would be expecting too much. But having said that though, there's a couple bits where I'm like, I don't know, like calling any grade 2 or lower from the deck seems like it's a little like vegan based for my Shadow Paladin deck, make me struggle, only do grade 1 or lesses. Morion Spear counts anyway, don't be afraid. But aside from minor slights like that, it's definitely pretty faithful, and it's cool to see some G nostalgia here of all things.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I do think the plus thing is a little out of hand, but then again, that is also got a Shadow Paladin thing, and I have a bias against Shadow Paladin because of how much absurd plussing they get over the years.
Yeah, and also we just always cuck you, Mr. Link Joker player. It was like we were custom built to fight your clan.
I mean, it's not even that. It's the clear Bushi favoritism they got. Did you know what they did in Zero? They added a counterblast to my break right, and they got rid of the counterblast on your break
right. Phantom, dude. Yeah, Mordred Phantom was too powerful in Zero. I don't know why. Like, I get why they did it for Link Joker. They should not have reduced the CB on Mordred Phantom. They should have both counterblasted because that's more fair.
Yeah.
Come
Anyway, that's
on,
another
dude.
tangent for another
Yeah,
day.
it's another tangent. Anyway, yeah, like 8 to 8.5, depending on who you want to look at a little bit more there. RPG Master, off to a good start. All right, take it away, man.
All right. Now, speaking of time, guiding Steam Maiden Uluru. Ooh, it's a G-Guard. Nice. All right, so auto Vanguard Circle. Forgot the cost part, but I get the idea. Soul Blast 1 and choose a card from your drop zone and bind it. Yep. When your G units stride, you may pay the cost.
Because remember, it's using G wording, so it's preceding the use you made the cost thing.
I see what he's doing. Okay, fair enough. In that case, when your G units stride, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your bind zone called to rearguard circle, and that card gets auto rearguard circle at the end of the battle where this unit attack. Time with this unit until end of turn. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
It's effectively Chronojet G, but better because it's actually during the battle phase then. So
it kind of functions similarly to D series Chronos Command, where it's like, hey you're gonna time leap after your battle. Got it? Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna get old after this battle, and you're gonna
you're gonna grow up. I have given you an age formula. Now accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
I tapped your gear water. I've spiked their gear grease.
Okay, moving on. Second skill. Auto Vanguard Circle GB2, once per turn. Counter +1. When this unit is attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rearguard circles and send all your cards on that circle to the bottom.
Ooh, energy!
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a GZ card if I ever saw one.
Damn, ooh.
At least it's a counter blast, which is actually kind of limiting back in the day, so.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what? I mean, that's powerful, and it is kind of fitting for Uluru. So you know what? I know I'm jumping ahead by rating this already individually, but I give this a 9. It feels pretty fitting, even if it's absurd. But you know.
Yeah, I think theme-wise it's pretty cool for her to have a defensive skill because that's what Ulurus are all about. So strong theme there, right? And letting the rear guard just do a time leap or whatever. Again, she's more facilitator defensive Vanguard, so she knows not to go like, oh, I get 5k for each card and binds them. Let's brawl. Like that's not an Uluru card. What
else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was about to say, like, considering we have Chronovisor Heritage already in the same format, this feels about right already compared to that. So I'm just like, you know what? Sure, why not? They already have a freaking turn skip that's easier than Mystery Flare. So
I almost lament that this is GB2 locked, because if you have the displeasure of riding first, you could at least try to defend yourself before you get inevitably bonked by Balam or something. You know what though? And this has an hilarious implication against Dominate to bot deck with the rear circles when they go for the stride Dominate skills. Like, okay, what you gonna do about that now? But there's one. Was it?
Otherwise, Shiranui Rinne, his GB3 is invalidated for one attack.
Right, it's so useful. Oh, but I do have one complaint about this GB2 skill though. Vainglory Gear Cat. Do you recall what that does?
I don't remember exactly what it does, but I do remember it. I do remember it, like, it did something that was synergized with this pretty damn well. Also, it does say choose one of your opponent's rear guards. This is not for your dominated units.
Right, so
you can bot deck one of their food eyes if they're trying to stack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can antagonize their board when they're dominating, right? It won't be the unit attacking you, but you can antagonize their board. So the Vainglory Gear Cat has a skill that states when your opponent's rear guard is put on the bottom of the deck, you can return Vainglory Gear Cat to the deck, shuffle, and your Vanguard gets 10,000 power at a turn. So basically, it's a 10k defensive during the opponent's turn. Normally, what you're supposed to do to facilitate this easiest is to have Gear Cat out there and use either Hetero Round or Pandora Chimera, depending on what deck you're playing, and then you get them back that way. But now you actually have it built into your Uluru without needing a generation guard, which is infinitely more powerful. So Uluru, unless they feel control right off the bat and get rid of your Gear Cat right away, Uluru is going to be sitting at 21k base a lot of the time.
Yep, which is a lot.
Yeah, but you want to know something? You want to know something? I actually don't even mind that too much because it's GZ, it's GFing-Z. They actually probably need that.
At that point, anything goes. Like I said, they had Chronovisor Heritage already. This is like
Something ridiculous. Alright, what does grade 4 Uluru do?
Alright, let's see. Alright, Steam Maiden of Chronology, Uluru Rewrite. I actually really like that name, man. Just
Rewrite the Vanguard. Yeah, that's the V series. That's the V series art right there.
Yeah. Fair enough. Alright, so Auto Vanguard Circle. Counterblast 1, and choose a face down card from your G zone and turn it face up. When this unit is placed, if you have a hard card with Uluru in its card, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your bind zone, call it to rearguard circle, and all of your rearguards in the front row get auto rearguard circle. At the end of the battle where this unit attacks, call a card from your deck with a different grade than this unit to rearguard circle. And when this unit would be retired, bind it instead until end of turn. Continuous Vanguard Circle GB3. All of your units placed this turn get plus 5k.
Multi-attack, 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 multi-attack.
Someone clearly went through Time Leap and said, let's keep doing it again.
You know, one of the funniest things, this does like a Metallica Phoenix Melum kind of thing where you can, or not Metallica Phoenix Melum, Metallica Phoenix Chrono Dragon thing where you get a column off of an attack because Uluru's, you remember Uluru spiked the gear water, so once they're done attacking, they're gonna go like Time Leap, and then this is also like, hey, so also call something with a different grade. So like, let's say you spiked a grade 2, right? They're gonna do a grade 3, grade 1 column with the Ulurus, which is kind of neat. That's cool.
Do you know what this also means? You can just call if this is like at the end of your turn, like your last after the end of the turn, just go 4 Vainglory Cats.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Like, we don't even need to worry. Like let's just say you just got done attacking with like, I don't know, Chrono Fang Tiger G. Gear Cat it is.
Yeah, and they only last until the end of the turn, so the next turn they can just bot themselves just fine if they ever leave. It's like
Jesus. It's interesting that it says when this unit would be retired, bind it instead. So that means I guess they're trying to hate on Griffin, Denial Griffin.
Yeah, that or just that, and yeah, maybe like helps boost if you really want to. You can run Demiurge for this if you really wanted to. Just run a bunch of ZTB cards and then just ramp up to Demiurge.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? I guess.
Why the hell not? Yeah.
Man. I mean, it's basic beatdown. Does a lot of attacks. Like.
Oh right, yeah, because like it's like okay, so at the end of battle where this unit attack, call a card from your deck with it. Okay, so they don't even bind themselves yet. So basically, when you call over them, they bind themselves.
Right, so they bind themselves if you call over, which means if you don't call over, you don't really care about it. Which I guess that's another example of the Time Leap bit, right? Where the Uluru Time Leap just kind of like circumvents the need to do that because you've left the open circle regardless. So it's kind of a cool combo. So I actually don't mind this too much. It is a little sad that this one, comparatively speaking, isn't doing anything too interesting. It's like the only thing it does is it kind of breaks the rules a little bit for Gear Chronicle, which is just call a grade that you want. Like immediately when I read that, you know what happened in my head? In my head, I heard the Valkyrian theme is like Valkyrie just suddenly hits the field. Like, you can't do it. It'll get rid of itself. You can't do it. But for a brief moment, I was like, do. Just like call some random like grade 10 Griffogila from the deck or whatever.
Oh god, yeah.
I call grade 10 Griffogila. Again, not a premium, so this wasn't a consideration for that, but it's really funny to think about. It's like this is why we future-proof cards.
Yep, this is why.
Oh man. So ratings overall.
I'm gonna say grade 3, 8 out of 10. Grade 4, 7 out of 10. So overall about a 7.5 average.
You know what? I think I'll go with you on that one. I think I'm gonna give like the grade, like it's kind of funny because I actually gave I would give this one like a 7 out of 10, but like the grade 3 a 7.5 out of 10 because I'm gonna give it crap for gear cat implications. So honestly, 7.5, that's fine. 7.5 is good.
Yeah, that works.
Like it's mostly good, right? Like you can tell you can tell they didn't doodle this on like a Wendy's napkin, but you know at the same time it does run into some of the pitfalls. And Uluru Rewrite is more interesting in name than in effect.
You know.
Yeah,
but I do appreciate that she's still a facilitator even as a stride, that she's not getting like 50k regardless.
Oh yeah, again, cracks the knuckles. It's you and me. Oh, I like you, bro. Let's go hands then.
Have to get the tongue out.
The Gear Chancla.
Even the lore code, she's basically the mom of Gear Chronicle, so it would be very accurate for her to just get the Chancla out when she's ready to discipline someone.
You know how like cowboys have like spools on like their boots? Hers are like little gears, and she just whips them out as like little like throwing stars or whatever the frick.
She has like gear-shaped spurs on her chanclas.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? She just goes over with her high boots and is like, all right, you asked for this.
Oh god.
Dude, and like because they're Gear Chronicle, it's not like you toss them from another room or something. No, this gets more convoluted. She throws them. She is so powerful. She can hit you with the Gear Chancla yesterday.
Oh yeah, she could. Oh god.
Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. You are not safe. Nowhere in space and time are you safe. You could be hit by the Gear Chancla as a newborn, and you wouldn't have known it. Because she will decide to hit you with that Gear Chancla tomorrow.
Oh lord.
Alright, it's pretty good, RPG Master. I like the G nostalgia. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're pretty
there's a
good.
note. Hold on a second. Note down here. Also, for reference, these are meant to be GR cards. So you take them. Smart. So smart. Already saw to that.
Yeah.
I feel like you should put that bit of context at the top instead of telling me. Normally that would be a good idea, Hedgehog, but you see, with us 5 heads, you know, we deduce. Yep. We deduce. Oh, what the frick did I just do? I hit r/y'all, whatever the hell that means.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Nikonus has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wow, that's a lot. Do you think we have time for Nikonus today, or do we want to do it?
What to call it? How long have we been going for, actually?
Good question. Let me see what we got here so far. We're looking at an hour 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think we might have to call it there.
Call it here? Yeah, all good. These were pretty chunky this time around, but you know, next time we'll pick up with Dakotas here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the cards here. They definitely ranged from WTF to quite interesting, even a bit refreshing on the nostalgia bit for a couple of them. So heck yeah. What was your favorite card of the day?
Well, definitely Crazy Spectral Duke stuff would be my favorite. Honestly, yeah. I do also still have a soft spot for those dragons that we reviewed that I got possibly a little too heated over, but that's just because I actually did really like the potential that they had. So, hey, if you're watching the video, if you ever have a second wind to redesign those cards, definitely resubmit them at some point, because I actually do want to see what you do when you have a better idea for what they do, because damn, that shit's cool.
Yeah, shoot, go. I mean, the perfect place, in case you want them to like really be seen, is to go to the Discord down below in the description, right? We got a custom card server like right there that you can go check out and post them. We got a lot of people to check it out, so it wouldn't even be just us giving comments, be a lot of people giving comments. So it's definitely the perfect place to show your customs there. Not even really a shameless plug, because I mean, it makes sense, right? We just happen to be those custom card guys for the most part. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode. I'd say my favorite. Yeah, probably going to be. I mean, I think like fundamentally solid speaking, the Spectral Duke ones are probably the best, and I really would love to play them the most. My soft spot kind of goes to the Orgeyser Dragon, because I looked at this and I'd be like, man, I wish I had this at the end of G just to make life easier. But that's besides the point. I think Crazy wins the day on this one. Very nice. Now, having said that, if you guys are looking for more content like this, then definitely subscribe and turn on notification bells so that you don't miss the next upload on Custom Card Review. It's only the second episode, so we've got a lot more of these coming down the pipeline in the future. Whether or not I'll be with my co-host here, or by myself, or maybe with a different co-host, whatever the case is, you can expect them to come in some shape or form. But if you're looking for the Vanguard content in the meantime, then look no further. We do top 10s, fight nights, discussions, anime reactions, the whole shebang on this channel. And with all that said, take care, and God bless y'all.
Peace.